we've been on this journey of API security for I would say an year for Akamai, right? Last RSA, we had the first announcement of entering that space, and as Nathan mentioned, phenomenal work by the APJ team and other teams of just building the sales momentum, the customer momentum for Akamai in the API security space. And then we started having the conversation with Oz seriously, I would say January of this year. And, by RSA, corp dev, finance, internal teams, the integration teams, everybody got together and we were able to do the public-facing announcement. And all of this stems with core focus of SCG, which is applications are at the center of everything we do, and applications is what we want to protect, everywhere, every time, right? So if you think about the whole application security portfolio with WAF or AAP, with Botman or Account Protector, even CPC, et cetera, the fourth pillar is API security. And we know that there is tremendous amount of adjacency with our WAF or AAP portfolio and API Sec, but by the same token, we want it to be broader, right? So as Oz goes through the no-name platform and what the teams have accomplished and what we have built, I want us to keep that in mind, is that we are going after a much bigger market, a much broader play than, what we have historically focused on or done, which is, primarily on CDN. And we're going to go much broader, off CDN, lots of other integrations, et cetera. So if we go to the next slide, I think many of you, heard us talk about, right? Just look at this data of, 6 billion users on the internet, 75 billion connected devices, 9 million mobile apps downloaded worldwide. Just what is everybody doing? People are spending time, either they're doing financial transactions or the e-commerce transactions or buying something, selling something, or they're having, entertainment, watching, World Cups or FIFA or soccer or cricket. I know the Cricket World Cup is going on right now. So, I know Asia Pac would be on the forefront of all of that. And we've seen, 1,000 plus apps on the enterprise, and the applications are modernizing. And then how does the API thing fit, right? So what we have seen is really, it is almost like become that kind of connective tissue of that digital economy or the connected economy or the supply chain, right? So we see more and more enterprises continue to utilize APIs internally, externally, B2B, et cetera, as means of doing everything that we are seeing where the numbers are. It's a complex space. The attack surface is growing. So on the next slide, we talk a little bit about, the Akamai strategy has always been kind of defense in depth, right? So you have a whole kind of layering approach, right? What we can do at the edge of the platform, and then, the next layer and the next layer and the next layer. And API security fits very nicely into this thought process. But as Oz will go through, it's going to be much more broader because the integration points are a lot more different. And what no-name platform brings to the table is a lot of different deployment models, right? So we could deploy on-prem, it could be hybrid, it could be SaaS, et cetera. So our whole defense in-depth strategy, when you start to do better together, is going to be that much more robust, right? And I don't have to, say any more in terms of, how many APIs we all use or the enterprise uses, right? If you think about it, it's everywhere. You're doing gaming, it's APIs, you're doing public sector, financial services, manufacturing, most of the businesses and government agencies and industries and verticals are utilizing APIs in some shape or form, so which gives us a big market, right? And on the next slide, I had done a presentation at RSA, and I was telling the audience that, hey, you came here to the conference, you booked a hotel, you did an airline, you had a restaurant reservation, you logged into your social media. Just the sheer number of APIs that you touched by being there at RSA for 4 days or 5 days is what is happening in this ever-connected digital economy. And our own Akamai data shows that it's 109% increase of API data, and we've seen 30% of that having API attacks, right? So we're seeing, volume increase, we're seeing attack surface, evolve, and we're seeing the number of attacks, which is, what the headlines are all about. The headlines are for Dell to come out and say, hey, we've had a situation. It's kind of a big deal because Dell is a technology icon, right? They are there to provide best-in-class products and services that are secure. And for them to have the compromise around 49 million records is a big deal, and it was a API abuse. And if you haven't had a chance, go read the article on Bleeping Computer. It's a nice one. They've actually interviewed the hacker. The hacker actually explained how they broke into it and what they did with the partner portal, how they abused the API to extract all of this data. And then the other one is the fun one for me is the third one, which is the two Santa Cruz students, uncovered a bug and let everybody do their laundry for free. So what they did was they hacked into the APIs for the university and put in, millions of dollars in everybody's laundry account, right? And just started to utilize it. And eventually, they told the university about the exposure, et cetera. But you see it, businesses and many other examples, going through all of it. So, where do we need to do more, right? So we have to do more. We are in the business of supporting and protecting our customers. We see this phenomenal opportunity to go expand and accelerate in API security. As Nathan mentioned, right, we are going to be, and we will be, and we're counting on all of you to be a leader in this space, right? And we need to continue to invest and expand and grow, and that is what we're doing. And it's a little bit different than the classic WAF approach. And as Oz goes through the details, you will start to see how it is similar yet different and how we need to look at a much broader picture when it comes to APIs, right? And, on the next slide, you start to see, hey, customers might think that they have 100 of these or 200 of these. And when you really do discovery and visibility and you find thousands of them, and that is when the customer goes, wow, I didn't even know that I had this kind of a attack surface or this kind of a threat landscape or this kind of exposure with APIs. And, again, Oz and team will talk about active testing and how do we go deeper into the code base, et cetera. So this kind of taking some of the same themes and continue to expand on that, right? And, basically you cannot protect what you can't see. The discovery, the visibility, the posture going, shift left, deeper, so much so important. And, I think the one thing I will give, a lot of credit to the No Name team is the UI, the UX, the user experience, the customer experience that they build was phenomenal, where they're able to kind of bring all of these complex integrations with simplified, clicks and workflows and automation that really made the adoption much more easier. So with that, you've probably seen this tagline before so many times, right? That Akamai, No Name, we're better together. We're expanding and accelerating in this space. We'll go to the next slide. We're looking to go, be number one in this space. We're counting on APJ. We're counting on Akamai, sales leadership, sales individuals, pre-sales, post-sales, POCs, the technical teams, R&D, everybody locked in hand to go make this thing happen because we focus on securing applications everywhere, every time.